Alrighty, so welcome back to the newly remodeled Math 1 room. If you didn't notice, we got carpet last week. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Other than the fact that your chairs might not slide as easy nowadays, today I should say, or going forward, but that's all right. We'll make do. Okay? Alright, so, like I said, should have grabbed a pink packet, should have grabbed a white packet. White, obviously, notes, all that fun stuff. Today we're going to be out of the white packet. We're going to do the 8th boot camp, which is on the first 2 pages of the white packet. Okay? So we'll kind of do this stuff together and then go from there and have some time, hopefully, at the end to, I do have your tests corrected. I just don't have them put into the grade book yet. So I'll get that done in the next, and you'll get them back tomorrow. So, okay? All right. So on top of page 2, we got to find the slope and we got to find the distance between those 2 points. Okay. So if I'm talking slope, what refresh my memory? Now this is going back. A little bit in first semester, a lot in second semester. How do I find the slope between 2 points? How do I find the slope between 2 points? So subtract the y's over subtract the x's? Yep, exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. We subtract the y's over subtracting the x's. So I'm going to go 4 minus 8 over negative 2 minus 7. 4 minus 8, anyone? Negative 4. Negative 2 minus 7. Negative 9. Do I like the fraction negative 4 over negative 9? Do I like that fraction? What do I like instead then? If I don't like it, give me something that I would like. If I do like it, tell me. Positive 4/9. Yep, negative divided by negative is positive, so this would just be 4/9. Would we mark it wrong if you wrote negative 4 over negative 9? Yes, we would. Okay? Okay? Now, distance, okay? So if we think about the distances and the way we were calculating the distances, okay? So we were calculating distances by making a right triangle and doing the Pythagorean theorem out of it. Okay? All right? Well, the Pythagorean theorem will also give us, or the distance formula, I should say, would also be if we subtract the x's and square it, subtract the y's and square it, and then square root. Okay? If we think about the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, that c squared, that c, is what we're looking for. And the a, one of the legs, is going to be the distance from one x to the other. B is going to be the other leg, and that's going to be the distance from one y to the other. Okay? So this would be here then, negative 2 minus 7. Well, that's going to be that negative 9. 4 minus 8, that's going to be that negative 4. And we're going to do that. So it comes out of the slope formula, actually. Negative 9 squared. You sure about that one? Positive. Negative times negative. Yep. Negative times negative is a positive, so that would be 81. Negative 4 squared. 16. 81 plus 16. 97. Okay. Now, is there any factors that go into 97? Does 2 go in there? No. Does 3 go in there? You guys know a quick way to know if a number is divisible by 3? Anybody know the trick? You add up all the digits. And if that sum is divisible by 3, then that number is divisible by 3. Okay? So 15 is divisible by 3, right? Okay? 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Okay? So 15 is divisible by 3. 97, 9 plus 7 is 16. Is 16 divisible by 3? No. So 97 is not divisible by 3. What about 4? (97) divisible by 4? This should be an easy one. An odd number divided by an even number. Hard to know, right? Okay. Divisible by 5. No, it doesn't end in 5 or 0. Divisible by 6. No. 7. No, right? No. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. Okay. All right. So then it's just going to stay the square root of 97. Okay. You now find me the slope and the distance for letter B. All right. So we got negative 3 minus negative 10. That's going to be 7. And we got negative 8 minus 3. That's going to be negative 11. So I get negative 7/11 here for the slope. Agree with me on that? Anybody disagree with me on that? Okay. And then my distance. Oh, that's going to be 3170. That's got 10 and 17. That's it. Neither one of those are perfect squares, so I'll say 170 there. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications on those two? Speak now. Number 2 says, plot the following ordered pairs and connect the points to create quadrilateral gulf. Okay? So plot those points right now and create, and you gotta label them because you want to create the quadrilateral gulf. Okay? Go for it. should look like that, yes? Okay. Based off of just visualness, what do we think that figure is? Parallelogram. Okay. So if it's a parallelogram, which it looks like it, so now we're going to kind of prove it, right? If it's a parallelogram, what does it have to have? What are some of the characteristics that make a parallelogram a parallelogram? Opposite sides need to be parallel. So what does that tell me about their slopes then? Their slopes would be the same. So the opposite, so side OL would have the same slope as side GF. Is that what you're telling me? And side GO would have the same slope as FL, right? Find me the slopes of all four sides. Okay? So find me the slopes of all four of those sides. And put them in the right spots, too. Yes? GO's got a slope of 3/4. OL has a slope of 0. LF has a slope of 3/4. And FG has a slope of 0. Yes? Okay? Right? So did we have opposite sides parallel now? Yep. Okay. What's another characteristic of a parallelogram? The opposite sides are parallel and they're equal, right? Okay. So we need to find the distance between of every side. Okay. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. OL is 7 because it's horizontal. We can just count it. GF is 7 also. Okay. So that's helping. So there's my right triangle. So 3 squared plus 4 squared is going to equal x squared. 3 squared, 4 squared, 9 plus 16. But that's x squared, right? So what do I have to do to find just x? Square root. Okay, what's the square root of 25? 5. Math is going to be the same on GO, right? Okay, so it's also going to be 5. So we've got opposite sides that are parallel. We've got opposite sides that are congruent. So is it a parallelogram? Yep. Yep. So now we can call it a parallelogram. Okay. Love it. In number 3, it says that we need to reflect the triangle over the line y equals negative 3x minus 5. So first off, what can you tell me about the line y equals negative 3x minus 5? Because we got to have that on our graph first. What can you tell me about that line? Okay, what does that mean? You're right, but what does that mean? Somebody else tell me about it. Keep thinking of what the negative slope is going to mean for us. What else can you tell me about this line? Xander, what can you tell me about this line? Oh, we got two Xanders. I was going with this Xander. Sorry, buddy. What can you tell me about this line? What? The green line, what can you tell me about it? Really, there's only two things that you can tell me about it. What's one of them? Okay, what does that mean? Just straight down. Goes down and right? Yeah. Okay, all right, that's one thing. Okay, all right. What's another thing you can tell me about it? What do you mean what does it intersect at negative 5? So the y-intercept is negative 5, right? Okay, so that means I would go down 5, and I would put myself a dot there. Okay? Now we said twice that it has a negative slope. What is that negative slope? Clayton, what's my negative slope? Negative 3, so give me two directions and two numbers. Okay, yep, I would agree with that. Right 1 and down 3. Okay. Or what's my other option? Up 3 and left 1. Yep, exactly. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, left 1. Okay, so now we can, using something that's straight, you all have an ID, let's use those. We can draw in that line of reflection. Okay. Now, thinking back to just before break, we were dealing with lines of reflection. What was the key word? It's a P word when we're dealing with a line of reflection. Perpendicular is that word, yes. So what is the slope perpendicular to negative 3? 1/3, because it's opposite and reciprocal, right? Okay, so it'd be 1/3. So that means that I'm going to go on a slope of 1/3, which is up 1 and right 3. Okay? So if I take this, we'll color code my points. So we'll go with this blue line, or this blue point. Up 1, right 3 gets me right to the line. So if I go up 1 and right 3, That would be my reflected point. Up 1, right 3, up 1, right 3. It took me 2 to get to the line. 1, 2, to get past it. Took me 1 slope to get there. So it'd be 1 more to get past it. We don't have any green stamp sheets if that's true.
You got any extra toolkits?
Oof. I got one.
One?
The yellow ones?
Yep.
Yeah. Last one. Room copy. All yours. No problem. And then we got to connect it to it. It's not just putting those points on there. We also have to connect it to. Draw the line of reflection between A and A prime on this graph, and then write the equation of the line. Okay? Well, to go from A to A prime, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I went up 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I went 8. So what is the slope between those points? The slope from A to A prime. 1/2. Okay. All right. So the slope is 1/2. What would be my perpendicular slope then? -2. Okay. 1/2 becomes negative. Positive 1/2 becomes negative. And then we flip it over, becomes -2. All right. We're going to need that later on. Halfway, so that means that I would go up 2 and write 4. Would put me right there at the origin, yes? That's my halfway point. Cut the 4 in half, cut the 8 in half, and go that far. So then we'd have a slope of -2. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Down 2, right 1. Up 2, left 1. Up 2, left 1. So there is my line of reflection. What is the equation of that line? What's the slope of it first? -2 is the slope. What's its y-intercept? 0. So what's the equation? Y equals -2x. Good job. Okay. On one of them, I have to give you a point. I don't remember which one it is. It might be tomorrow's homework. Okay. All right. Now, the following ordered pairs create a rectangle. That's very important that it creates a rectangle. What can you tell me about a rectangle? What are some of the properties that you know of a rectangle? Opposite sides are the same. It's easy. There's 4 sides. Keep going. 4 right angles. Keep going. That's the opposite sides are the same. Yep. Okay, diagonals are congruent. This is one big one. About the opposite sides. They're parallel. Yep, exactly. Because it's a parallelogram. Okay? Alright? So if opposite sides are parallel, and they're the same, and we got 4 right angles, okay? So, nope, it was. Yep, it was this one. Hold on one second. Okay? So what can you tell me about all of the x values for point A, H, and G? All of the x values for points A, H, and G. They're all going to be the same, right? Yep, because that's okay. So that means that this then is all going to be -7 there, right? Okay. What can you tell me about the x values for B, O, and F? They're all going to be 0, right? What can you tell me about the x values for C, D, and E? They're all 9. Yeah. Okay. What can you tell me about the y values for A, B, and C? They're all 8. What can you tell me about the y values for H, O, and D? What about the y values for G, F, and E? All -5. Okay. Plan our work so that you can work your plan. We need to solve the following systems of equations using any method. For letter A, what would be the optimal, actually, before we even do that, what are our 3 choices for methods to solving a system of equations? Substitution is 1. Elimination is 2. What's the third? One that probably will never use if you ever, unless you absolutely positively have to. Starts with a G. Starts with a G. Graph. Is that what you were saying? Right, it's your answer. I already said. Yep, graph. Okay, right? So, in letter A, which one do you think you should use? Substitution, because it's already substituted for x, right? Okay. In letter B, what should you use? B? I'd use substitution again, because both of them are self-correct. And in letter C, what should you use? That one I would use elimination. Okay? Solve those three for me. -12 minus -2 is 14. -2 times 2 is -4 plus 8 is 4. Yep, works out. So my answer here would be 4, comma, -2. -8 plus 2 is -6. Negative of -4 is +4 minus 10 is -6. So I get there -6, comma, -4. Two times 1/2 is 1. Let's see, that's going to be 8 minus 12 is -4. That's going to be 1 plus 12 is 13. Yep, so I get 1/2. 12. Questions on any of those three? Circle those answers so you can see those a little bit better. Questions on any of those? All right. Lastly, determine whether each pair of triangles are congruent, and if they are congruent, state which condition shows that they are congruent. Okay? Upper left one. Congruent, not congruent. What do you think? Congruent or not congruent? What do we have? What's given to us that's congruent? We got two angles. Okay? So we got this blue angle, and then we've got this right angle. Okay? Anything else that we can say is congruent? Because we need at least 3 things, right? So what else can we say? The side that they share is congruent to itself. Okay? So we can say that this side right there is congruent to itself. Yep. And now what do we have? What do you got? Angle, side angle. Yep, exactly. How many things do we have congruent in upper right? 2. So can I say that they're congruent? No, can't say they're congruent because I can only got 2. They don't share a side. They don't have anything else. So that's a not congruent case. Lower left, I can say that side's congruent to itself, right? So can I say that those triangles are congruent then? Yeah? Using which one? Side angle, side, no, because the angle that's congruent is not in between the sides. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's SAS, so that angle has to be in between those 2 sides. So can I say that these are congruent? No, because this is an angle side side case. Lower right, those 2 congruent? Yes or no? Why not, CC? I got a side, right? And then I got an angle, and then I got a side in this one, right? Okay. So on this left one, it's set up in side angle side. But in the other one, it's not, right? It's angle side side. So since it's not in the same orientation, that's a not congruent. Has to be in the same orientation. Okay? Good times. Good times.